With 2018 approaching so rapidly, it is astounding how far technology has advanced and integrated into society in unique and new ways. Over the past 10 years, smart devices, personal computers, and online activity in general have almost become a necessity for modern living. And with generational gaps evolving to fit such drastically different lifestyles, one industry in particular has struggled to fully detach itself from its taboo stigma. Of course, I'm talking about esports. To sum it up, the esports industry revolves around competitive video gaming at a professional level. Being such a broad medium packed with so much variety, competitive video games consist of many styles and genres. You have fighting games like Tekken, where you rely on reactions and quick button presses, turn-based battle games like Pokemon that require strategy and predictions, puzzle games can even require you to have creative thinking and pattern recognition. I especially love the Nintendo World Championships where they just mash all this together and make the finalists do extreme on-the-spot thinking. But definitely the most popular style in esports are MOBAs, or multiplayer online battle arena games. Games like the well-known League of Legends or Dota 2 provide the viewer with a top-down perspective, while games like Counter-Strike Go and Overwatch provide a first-person shooter perspective. UK gaming news site The Telegraph writes, "The majority of popular esports are team-based games played in leagues or tournaments throughout the year, culminating in one final event. These franchises create competitive environments where participants play against some of the top-ranked people in the world for cash prizes reaching as high as $24 million. As an industry, it is astonishing how quickly esports have evolved. Networks like ESPN have promoted esports through airing their events and tournaments. As of 2016, the most popular esport games include Counter-Strike Go, League of Legends, Dota 2, and Overwatch. This industry has already generated a net worth of over $750 million and is predicted to expand to $1.5 billion by 2020. Clearly, esports are quickly becoming successful and profitable enough to make careers for a select group. Soon enough, esports could be as realistic a career goal as being placed in the NFL or NBA. But there is a great hurdle the esports community must get over before truly becoming both a common and successful industry.
I am not a friend of esports. This is just, it's video games. It shouldn't be on a sports network.
You didn't know there were cyber athletes?
My hand to God, I didn't know there were some. But my issue is, it's still not a sport.
Do you have any statistics on how many of those people also go to Star Trek conventions?
They're actually giving college scholarships for video gaming.
You're kidding.
And it's even gone to the point that now the government has acknowledged professional video gamers as athletes.
Right, and how would that be? How is that athletic? I mean, I'm not talking about
now when we talk about so look, first and foremost, I care about my son and his passion, and
They have skilled sons or something?
I'm not here to debate the level at which they fit and slot in.
YouTube Gaming is a new YouTube platform on which people who play video games can watch other people play video games. And of course, I made fun of this because there are people watching other people play video games.
Clearly, esports are far from being taken seriously by the public. As it stands, esports are extremely popular within gaming communities, but are seen as taboo to the rest of society. The idea of professional video gaming becoming a plausible career for some millennials is baffling to many looking in from the outside. For many, gaming has become a passionate art form and unique and immersive way of storytelling, as well as an entertaining and fun way to connect with others worldwide. What it boils down to is one major weight holding back the esports community from potentially becoming the social norm. There's a great stigma against gamers and gaming culture that has been very much perpetuated by media outlets. Organizations like Moms Against Video Game Addiction and Violence have demonized gaming altogether, making those who enjoy gaming out to be violent, socially inept outcasts. Gamers have also had massively detrimental stereotypes perpetuated by pop culture and television. The stereotypes of gamers include anything from obesity and laziness, poor hygiene, obnoxious and immature behavior, and even mental instability. Even at our college, JCC, these prejudices are present. On our very own campus, the one place dedicated to video gaming, the game room, is often looked down upon as an especially undesirable place. Upon walking in, I often see two groups that embody the main split in all gaming culture. There is one group focused intently on their games and their competitive matches and socializing through the medium whether they be watching or playing. And then there is another, who play the video games or just express their love for gaming by being in the game room, but have the intent of purposely embodying those negative stereotypes of gamers by being obnoxious, loud, and profane for the sake of comedy. This absurd new age type of comedy is completely puzzling and is especially present in younger millennials online today. Because this is such an obscure and new type of phenomenon, there's very little information actually reported on this, but I feel the Huffington Post can help me give insight into what I've experienced with this idea. As a millennial who has both participated in and witnessed these gags, I can say that they stem from doing things ironically. That is, being absurd to comedically portray extreme stereotypes that they embody. These gags were especially popular during the lifespan of the video sharing service Vine. As Huffington Post puts it, a majority of the most popular videos that deal with race simply recycle tired stereotypes. This plays out in the white people versus black people genre of videos. As this trend has grown and evolved, it has portrayed even more stereotypes, the most recent example of which including fans of the Adult Swim cartoon Rick and Morty. For those unaware, the popular and somewhat comedic stereotype of fans of the show is that they are extremely passionate in obnoxious ways.
Wait, you guys have no Szechuan sauce? No. I want Szechuan sauce! Where's my Szechuan sauce? I'm Pickle Rick! What beloved dum dum? I'm Pickle Rick! 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 I'm Pickle Rick! Rick! Rick!
Now, of course this person was doing this as a joke, but this propels their own stereotype further and spreads it. This has created a whole new take on the self-fulfilling prophecy. The self-fulfilling prophecy is a term used to describe the impact of stereotypes on an identity. As a stereotype is believed by a group or society, it affects how the group treats the identity being stereotyped. This treatment then affects how people with the identity act, which results in them perpetuating their own stereotype even further. To put it simply, the way that you act influences how people treat you, which then influences how you act. Relating back to esports and gaming culture, the prevalent group of people perpetuating these stereotypes through the self-fulfilling prophecy cycle, whether comedically or traditionally, are creating a very bad brand for esports as an industry. If we reinforce stereotypes of gamers acting this way, how can we seriously turn their behavior into a career? This also promotes something we will call dissociative identity. This is used to describe when someone's identity has so much prejudice against it that they choose not to associate with it.
So you don't want to be labeled gay?
I don't want to be labeled gay. I want to be labeled a human who loves humans. I'm tired of being labeled. I'm an American. I'm not an African American. I'm an American.
Oh, girl, don't set up the Twitter on fire.
I'm sorry.
I mean, you're going to get a lot of flack for saying you're not African American. You know that, right?
I don't label myself.
Okay.
Madeline Assab's article, Why Are Women Afraid of Being Called Feminists, describes this extremely well. The term feminazi is used by people who view feminists as angry, frumpy, and man-hating lesbians. These images portray feminists as being hysterical and incompetent, which ignores and discredits the true meaning of feminism. Women and men are afraid to identify with this crowd either because they feel embarrassed for daring to demand gender equality or to support a movement that makes people feel ashamed for being ignorant. Because certain feminists have created negative stereotypes, many men and women are choosing to dissociate themselves from the title. And just as certain stereotypes are driving potential feminists away, the same goes for people interested in gaming. Even just typing the word gamer for this video makes me feel a bit off. Even as someone who regularly indulges in the experiences of video games, there's a certain stigma that stops me from using terms like gamer when describing myself. These obnoxious and toxic voices within the gaming community have made me embarrassed and want to hide my own identity, as it does so many others. There are obviously a great deal of problems facing the esports community, and we won't be able to become a truly popular industry until these problems are taken care of. But this of course begs the question, how do we solve this? And to that, ladies and gents, I point you toward the new big contender on the competitive scene, Overwatch. To put it simply, Overwatch is a first-person shooter with a colorful cartoon cast of characters, each with their own abilities, weapons, items, and movement options. Each hero has a completely different feel to how they play and take on a specific different role in the game. Playstyles like this encourage flexibility in characters and being able to choose who is necessary as the match progresses. This can be great in challenging teammates to learn the workings of multiple heroes and making tactical decisions based on the situation. I only bring this up because Overwatch is currently in the midst of starting their first season of the Overwatch League.
Over 20 million players have started their watch. Now we want to showcase the world's greatest Overwatch players. Blizzard Entertainment is proud to announce the Overwatch League, a global world-class esport league designed from the ground up to celebrate the best of the best on their path to victory. Our seasoned experience in esports and the best practices of time-honored traditional sports help to define the unique structure of the Overwatch League.
The Overwatch League is a great way to celebrate the similarities between traditional and electronic sports rather than focusing on the differences. There is a great video by The Game Theorist, a YouTube channel run by Matthew Patrick that critically analyzes video game mechanics, theories, and industry trends, in which Matt Pat talks about this very subject.
Take a look at the leagues themselves. For traditional sports, we'll use the NBA as the example, and for eSports, we'll look at the LCS. The NBA has 30 teams across the US and Canada. LCS, on the other hand, has 20 teams across the US and Europe, which are split into 2 divisions based on continents. What about the teams themselves? Using our NBA example again, each team has to be a recognized member of the larger National Basketball Association, like an approved group who's officially recognized as a real deal NBA team. MOBA teams don't really work like that. They work better. MOBA teams are currently admitted to major championship events after winning their way through a qualifying challenger series, basically playing their way up the ranks every year to become a recognized group within their game. In this way, the MOBA system actually recognizes the best players democratically rather than forcing players into a specifically recognized team before they're allowed to play. It's a meritocracy. The best players get recognized.
Along with all of this, the Overwatch League has created an even deeper connection with the fans through supportive merchandise. When the season starts, fans will be able to buy customized skins that mimic the team uniforms played by their favorite players in the games. The Overwatch League also streams every one of their matches to be watched by fans worldwide. And with the previously mentioned meritocracy, the Overwatch League is full of the best players internationally. The game theorists also go on to talk about accessibility. Obviously, it's much easier for a casual player to pick up a football from the store than to buy a multi-$1,000 PC monster of a system, so the capacity of players to casually enjoy a game, and then make their passion for it, is highly in favor of traditional sports. By creating esports that are more accessible, i.e. console games, the esports community can become more open to the masses. All in all, the steady rise of the esports industry is reliant on its fans. If the ironic toxicity and prejudice continue to drive people away from the casual community, implementing new fans into the competitive scene will only become harder. So I issue this challenge to anyone who has learned anything from this video. Go to overwatchleague.com and watch any one of the competitive matches. It may not be something you'll understand, but seeing the passion and exhilaration behind these people's careers can help stomp out the stereotypes and prejudices against the gamers as a whole. This entirely new culture is vastly different than anything many people have seen before, but it's our similarities that should unite us and our differences that should help us grow.